Like, what story is my website telling? All right. And if you like this topic, I know there's somebody who's talking about getting into analytics as a profession. Read this book, because they not only talk about online data, but they talk about how companies like Netflix put Blockbuster out of business by using data. Right? They collected data to prescriptive movie choices. So there's tons of ways to use data. Right now we'll just be talking about how visitors use on your website. We'll be talking about what is web analytics, what are the terms and definitions. We'll get into Google Analytics and talk about all the different parts within that program. And then I'll take you on kind of a journey of how to actually change your website with the data. And we'll go through a case study, which is something that I've been kind of testing out the past 2 weeks, so that you can see how different variations actually make a big difference on a website. Alright, what are web analytics? Web analytics is the collection, the measurement, the analysis, and the reporting of internet data for the purpose of understanding and optimizing web usage. I'll send you all these slides, by the way. If you sign in here, I'll follow up with all this stuff so you can reference it later on. Basically, it just means analytics is collecting all the data that your visitors are dropping off on your site, and it's giving you different ways to frame that data and to use it in a way that best fits your needs. There's two types of analytics, macro analytics or offsite analytics, and this is anything that's off of your personal website. It's your potential audience, your share of voice, the size of the internet as a whole, who's using the internet, what part of the world are they using it, right? This is off-site analytics, and then there's on-site analytics, which is micro-analytics, which measures the visitor's journey once they get to your site. Google Analytics, for our purposes, will be measuring micro-analytics, just the information on your site. All right? Terms and definitions, all of these you'll have to know. So if there's any that's tricky, stop me. Okay. Before getting started, you have to know what you want your website to accomplish. This is probably the number one rule in analytics. If you are a consultant agency, or maybe you want people to fill out a contact form so that you generate that lead and you can follow up with them. You know, that's your goal. Maybe your goal is to sell a hat, right? So that's your goal. You have to make sure that all of the websites that you build have a very clear goal in order for you to use analytics. So, I want my visitors to complete a contact form, make a purchase, subscribe to a newsletter, view advertisements. This is an interesting one. So, magazines or any sort of news feed generally makes its money on advertisement. And the idea is you want people to keep scrolling through your site, to keep going around so that more advertisements are being generated. Maybe you cut a story into 2 pages so that even though they're reading one story, they're clicking another page and you're getting more advertising dollars. You're getting twice the advertising dollars as if you left that story on one page. You guys get that? So you just have to make sure that you have your goal very clear. So again, your goals must be set in order to use web analytics effectively, engage the effectiveness of your site. Right here, this top bar, so ignore everything from here down. Okay, I'll get into that in a second. You're always going to have this part. This part is your de facto widget. First, we'll start with the time frame. So I think by default, it always starts with just a 1-month time frame. If you want to change that, you can just click one button, or you can click your start, you can click your end, you can press apply, and it'll adjust. You'll notice it adjusts everything. It adjusts all of the data on your dashboard at the same time. Okay? You can do it the calendar view, or you can do it the same way with a timeline. So you can just, you want to really stretch that out. Second to load, and you've got... Does anybody know why there's these little dips here? This is so common with probably any website that you'll ever find. Weekends. Yeah, weekends. Saturdays, there's a huge drop in internet usage all over the place. So this is on, as long as you're trending up and to the right, you're good. You know, these dips you don't have to worry about them because they are the weekends. Then you can do something else with the timeline. You can compare to the past. What does that do? That just sets that exact same time frame to match the time frame right before that. So if I press apply, see that? Okay. Here's an interesting trick with this. Make sure that whenever you are comparing to the past, that you match up your weekdays. So this is starting on a Sunday, which is no good because you see these variations here? You're comparing apples to oranges. You're saying Mondays to Sundays and Tuesdays to Wednesdays. So you want to line them up like that to, what do we stop this at, Wednesday? Sorry, be patient with me for 1 second. Okay. I mean, you could also do this, let's say we did this for the week before this event. When you press apply, they're going to match. You see that? So make sure that when you compare to the past, that you are matching up your weekdays. Good. Okay, also, the default here is visits. Well, you can come in here, and maybe you don't want it to say visits, maybe you want it to say new visitors. Press apply, and this will change. Okay, but I think all this information at the bottom will stay consistent. It's just whatever this big graph will display. Good. So let's dig into some of this data so you can see how it works. The three main areas up here on your Google Analytics that you're going to use the most are visitors, traffic sources, and content. Intelligence, goals, you might not use those as much, if ever. These are the three aspects that you want to know. Visitors, what does visitors tell us? Visitors literally tell us about the visitor. It says where they came from, it says what browser they were using, what their connection speed was, it tells you what part of the world they're from. So let's say we want to do a map overlay, which is a fun feature, and you can see over all of the world, the United States clearly has the most traffic. Because this is all the visitor information. So I'm going to drill down, which is kind of the common term here when you dig deeper into data. I'm going to drill down to the United States, and I can even see further where people are coming from, what part of the country. And California is a huge market for us.